Data shows they were actually better in the 1940s. It was bad, it was evil, but what happened? Something changed. They committed less crimes.
Maybe they were afraid. I mean, 4,000 black men, women, and children were killed in violent lynch mobs.
If that's your explanation, but I guess
racial terror permeated American culture for hundreds of years.
Black America is worse than it has been
that affected
in the last 80 years.
The generational psyche of an entire group of people?
Was he right, or was this just another attempt to throw salt on centuries of pain? Question stings because it exposes a wound we rarely want to touch, but sometimes to heal, we must press directly on the sore spot. Charlie Kirk says black people hold themselves back. His argument may be that we fail to unify, maybe that we refuse to love ourselves, maybe that we can't rebuild our households, maybe that we're waiting on Jesus to save us instead of saving ourselves. He looks at us and asks, why can't black people pool their resources? Why can't they live under one roof with multiple generations like other groups? Why does everyone want to be an individual scattered across different cities and homes? The sting of those words isn't just in what he said, it's in the uncomfortable truth that on the surface, parts of it look familiar. But here's what he leaves out. None of this happened by accident. Black people didn't simply choose to scatter. We were scattered. Through slavery, through Jim Crow, through redlining, through mass incarceration, through predatory lending, through cultural programming that taught us to chase independence at the cost of legacy. When he frames it as if we just don't want unity, he skips the centuries of deliberate design meant to keep us apart. Let's ask the hard question anyway. Why can't we? The black dollar circulates in our communities for only 6 hours. In Asian communities, it circulates for 28 days. In Jewish communities, 17 days. In white communities, 20 days. What does that mean? It means that when a black person gets paid within half a day, that money has already left the community. Why? Because we don't own the stores we shop in. We don't own the banks we deposit in. We don't own the supply chains of the products we use every day. Think about it. The corner store is usually owned by someone else. The beauty supply shop, not ours. The gas station, not ours. Even the grocery stores in our neighborhoods, not ours. So every time we eat, every time we get gas, every time we buy hair care, every time we pay a bill, the money leaves. It doesn't get a chance to cycle, to build, to employ, to multiply. This isn't just about spending habits. It's about ownership. We are heavy consumers in a system where almost nothing around us belongs to us. Other groups can stack 10 people in one house and save up to buy a business. We, on the other hand, clown each other for sharing space while we pour money into other people's pockets. Somewhere we decided independence mattered more than legacy, and that mindset keeps us renting forever while others own. In Africa, in the Caribbean, in the South, the home wasn't just where we slept. It was the headquarters of survival. Multi-generation living meant grandma taught the recipes. Uncles taught the trades. Children learned stories of the ancestors. Everyone contributed. Everyone had a role. But in America, we traded the tribe for an apartment lease. We traded the family table for fast food. We traded legacy for individualism, and the cost has been devastating. And what about waiting on Jesus? Some of us have turned faith into a waiting room. We pray for deliverance, but do nothing with the tools already in our hands. Our ancestors' faith built schools, ran boycotts, organized marches. Their prayers were fuel for action. Today, too often we're told to wait, to hold still, to ignore the problems because one day a miracle will fix it all. But James 2:17 says, faith without works is dead. Faith was never meant to keep us sitting. It was meant to keep us building. So is Charlie Kirk right? In part, yes, we have a responsibility to unify. We do need to rebuild, but the trap is deeper than he admits. We are not lazy. We are not incapable. We are trained not to trust one another, trained not to pool resources, trained not to build households that last. That's why unity feels foreign. That's why love of self feels fragile. That's why building households feels impossible. It's not just lack of will, it's generations of programming. But training can be broken. It starts with one decision. Pooling money isn't impossible. It's already happening in immigrant communities all around us. Multi-generational living isn't strange. It's the way most cultures around the world survive. Loving ourselves isn't abstract. It's as simple as buying from each other, speaking life into each other, protecting each other. We don't need to wait on permission. We don't need to wait on Jesus to drop down with the rescue plan. We already are the plan. Charlie Kirk wasn't wrong to say we hold ourselves back, but he was wrong to stop there, because if you only look at the wound without the weapon, you blame the victim. Yes, we have to face ourselves. Yes, we must do better. But don't forget who trained us to scatter, who profited from our division, who built an economy on our broken households. The hard mirror is this: they designed the system, but we keep running the program, and only we can choose to stop. So again, was Charlie Kirk right about black people? Not in the way he thinks. He was right that unity is our missing piece, but he was wrong to believe it proves our weakness. In truth, it proves our power. Because if unity is all it takes to change our future, imagine how unstoppable we become once we choose it. The only question is, will we keep waiting for someone to save us, or will we become the saviors we've been waiting for?